Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. This time we take a look at another of those documentaries about fans that we started looking at last time with Star Woids. While we're going through some stuff that's been sitting on my shelves that I haven't had a chance to show you yet while waiting for all the Skywalker Saga and Rise of Skywalker stuff to show up here in the mail. Last time we looked at Star Woids. Star Woids was mainly about the lining up for Episode 1, a couple of competing lines, one from CountingDown.com and one that was unaffiliated with that, two separate ones at two separate theaters in the same city and all. And we took a look, at least in the same general region, and we took a look there, as we were looking at that, at how they handled it. Not a lot of narration, mostly just these people in their own words, taken seriously, presenting them as people. Worked fairly well. I had some questionable opinions, or I had opinions about their questionable choices, depending on your perspective here, about their special edition packaging and their emphasis on a Slave Leia cosplayer, but generally speaking, it was a solid documentary to look at that took fans seriously without deriding them. Now we look at a second one based on a similar phenomenon, which is the documentary A Galaxy Far, Far Away. A Galaxy Far, Far Away has a different approach, we'll call it. This is the first DVD version of A Galaxy Far, Far Away from 2000. A must-have companion for Star Wars fans. I beg to differ. A Galaxy Far, Far Away. Incredibly clever. I beg to differ. Film Threat Magazine. A couple of individuals here, including super genius Morgan Phillips, the breakbeat DJ guy dressed as Boba Fett. Spine here, A Galaxy Far, Far Away. Product number, Vanguard, I guess the publisher. DVD. Back, some images from it, plus your information about it. We'll look at it in a second. DVD features or DVD extras, deleted scenes, director, producer, editor commentary, which is true. Your cast crew information, Vanguard, the Cinema Guild, copyright, DVD recording, copyright, blah, 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 UPC. Okay. The disc inside, before we look at anything else, fairly simple. Kind of a Starfield, Galaxy Far, Far Away, Vanguard symbol there. Inside, title there, Galaxy Far, Far Away, DVD, copyright, and then info over here. We'll look at what's on the back and the info there before we delve too much into this. So we have a quote here, "Go see it just to laugh at yourself, because we all know you have some sort of Star Wars geek in you," from BuddyHead.com. Then from Film Threat Magazine, yes, Film Threat as in Star Woids a year later, a revealing film about a subject that will be explored for years to come. Featuring music of Chemical Brothers, Luscious Jackson, They Might Be Giants, and Morgan Phillips. Special appearances by Joe Pesci, Andy Garcia, Meatloaf, and Samuel L. Jackson. Mostly just caught out and about. I think in one case it may even be somebody's caddy interviewing them. The text on the back, if I can parse it out, 1977. Star Wars premieres at Mann's Chinese Theater. It triggers a pop culture phenomenon that has lasted to this day. 1999. Fans anticipate the release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Galaxy features interviews, that's their nickname, I guess, for their own program. Galaxy features interviews with hundreds of fans, movie executives, and high-profile celebrities shedding new light on the film trilogy that has captivated generations of moviegoers. It takes us to Star Wars conventions, to nationwide premieres, into the homes of devoted fans showing off their treasures, and to the 42 days of waiting in lines in the spring of 1999. The complete, often hilarious exploration of the phenomenon brings together a group of interesting, hysterical, and often touching fans. It is not just a movie about zealous fans. Galaxy offers new insight into the reasons these fast-paced science fiction films struck a mysterious and powerful chord with all races, genders, and generations. It's a pretty ambitious premise, at least. Inside, shot over 5 months, A Galaxy Far, Far Away takes you on a journey into a world few have experienced. Critically lauded by the LA Times, LA Weekly, BuddyHead.com, and Film Threat Magazine. The film has been featured in many film festivals, including the Santa Barbara Film Festival and Slamdance. Shot in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Boston, Cleveland, Rochester, and Idaho. The film took 8 months to edit due to the 150 hours of footage. If you purchase this video, you will see 3 people named after Star Wars characters, a real-life Superman, a dancing Leia, 2 Klingons, a man named Meatloaf, a man who loves super strong and monstrous female characters, a Fox executive, and the best Star Wars tribute band. Before we look at the actual documentary and talk about the actual content of the documentary, there is another version, a 10th anniversary special edition from 2009. 2000. you know what? Whatever. It's fine. Leading into the 10th anniversary. A Galaxy Far, Far Away, Inside the Universe of a Phenomenon. Incredibly clever. A revealing documentary about a subject that will be explored by our generation for years to come. From Chris Gore of Film Threat. Official selection, Slamdance Film Festival. Official selection, Santa Barbara Film Festival. Stuff they told us on the last one. Image there of a guy in mall cosplay, A Galaxy Far, Far Away, product number, and in this case, Cinelove Studios. Then on the back, that same quote from Buddy Head, a few images, information about it. That's relatively similar here, but we'll run through it. The new features, which I'll mention, special appearances by, again, Joe Pesci, Roger Corman, Meatloaf, Andy Garcia, James Duvall, Adam Carolla, and Jimmy Kimmel, who've become bigger since then, hence mentioning them. A Galaxy Far, Far Away, Inside the Universe of a Phenomenon, cast crew information, Cinelove, UPC, runtime, legalese. The disc itself, 10th Anniversary Special Edition, A Galaxy Far, Far Away, Super Genius over there, the guy, Cinelove Studios, runtime, DVD, product number, legalese. Okay. As far as bonus features go, you have a new trailer, plus the old trailer. You have commentary. There's a new 10th anniversary video commentary that's MST3K style, new interviews with the producer and director, all new audio commentary for the producer and director, deleted scenes, and original DVD commentary that we saw on the original one, as I mentioned. The original trailer also, as I mentioned, there's a photo gallery, there's web links and so forth. Basically audio commentary, a couple of trailers, deleted scenes, photo gallery, and promotional stuff for other things unrelated to this, essentially. So what is it? It's a bit broader focused than Star Wars. It's not just about the 1999 lines. It looks at a lot of different things, but it claims, at least, to be looking at the Star Wars phenomenon and trying to understand it on behalf of its director/narrator, a guy named Tariq Jalil. Now, I say it claims to be that because it doesn't wind up feeling like it plays out like that as a search for truth any more than the actual runtimes are correct. The runtimes on both of these say that it's an 80-minute documentary. It's actually more like 63 minutes. 17 minutes of inflation. Compensation, perhaps. It does have some stars show up, like Meatloaf. You know, are you excited about it? So somebody caught him and was able to get a quick interview. It does have Joe Pesci, but they ask him, you know, are you excited about the new Star Wars movie? He's like, yeah, I'm thrilled to death. You know, it's like, screw it. I don't give a crap. Robert Loggia is in it. Roger Corman's in it. Dan Madsen of the official Star Wars fan club's in it. They do bring in the guy that played the Jawa, Hal Wamsley, who is also in Star Wars. Jodie Foster's agent is in it, but not Jodie Foster herself. There's a guy who has a kid named Anakin, which I could identify with having a kid named Cade. Morgan Phillips, the DJ guy, is in this as well. There's another guy who's a musician called Jam Master Jedi. There's two dudes playing kazoo in it. There is a tribute band to Star Wars called Twin Sister that is briefly mentioned. Christopher Volger is interviewed, a guy with a book about the hero's journey, talking about healthy versus unhealthy escapism, delving a little bit into the psychological side, kind of like Jedi Junkies did. It's just a little odd, right? Lots of different people, but it tries to interview and show fandom, supposedly to try to find, you know, the truth behind fandom. But in doing so, you get the sense very quickly and very easily that the narrator's perspective is, these guys are nerds. I'm making a documentary about these nerds. Don't include me as a nerd. I'm not one of them. Looking down on the subjects that he's supposedly trying to find the meaning from, or the secrets of why Star Wars is so popular from. For instance, when it comes to the 1999 lines at the theaters, despite the ages of many of the people in those lines, they are referred to as kids. They do interview some of the counting down people like Lincoln Gasking, who is considered sort of the villain of the piece for Star Wars, so there is a little bit of balance in that sense. When referencing kids again and talking to the guy who has a kid named Anakin, the guy with the kid named Anakin calls the guys in the line idiots, or the people, men and women in the line, idiots. Let's see, 12 minutes in, only 12 minutes in, you get the quote, "It was pretty clear that some of these people were not playing with a full deck." When actually not really talking about crazy people just yet, although there is a guy who's eventually interviewed who talks about how the Force can defeat any disease, including AIDS, in real life. So maybe there's a little bit of a rationale for that. The director goes to Toys R Us on the day that the Star Wars toys are released. I think I said May 1st in the Star Wars episode. It may have been May 3rd. Just early May when the episode 1 toys first get released. And rather than covering it as a phenomenon, kind of like Black Friday, instead, he describes it as grown men waiting in line to buy what are essentially dolls. And he intercuts footage of the Toys R Us rush for dolls, rush for toys, with relief supply quasi-riot situations in Kosovo. There's a lot of moments of sort of comparing what could these Star Wars fans be doing with their time and their money and their effort if only they were interested in something else. With relatively few people, except for like Roger Corman, really speaking out and talking about how this could be a healthy exercise and a healthy social type of thing that they are doing. They do get to the end of the line where we see the reactions to Phantom Menace, most of which from that particular crowd are negative rather than positive, which is funny because some of those people are the same people you would have seen in other documentaries. Just happened to interview mostly people who were negative about it, which is odd because in 1999 it wasn't quite as negative in reaction to Phantom Menace as it was later. And after all of that, after all of this, we're showing Star Wars fans, but through my narration, I'm going to constantly belittle them in some way and show that I am above them in some way. Our narrator/director, with about 10 minutes left, after the story about the lines in 99 are over, basically just says, well, shit. This whole process hasn't actually told me a damn thing about why the phenomenon exists. I guess I'll have to look elsewhere. And instead, there's a quick wrap-up with quotes about family and finding meaning, mixed with morality not coming from religion, but from the movies and so forth. It's an odd way to end it, kind of, I'm seeking answers. Oh crap, I didn't find any, so let me try to wax poetic and bring in some things that try to make it sound as though the reason why most people like Star Wars is because there's religion missing in their lives, or meaning missing in their lives, or a parental figure missing in their lives. The interview subjects, he says, are people too. Oh, really? I didn't know that until you told us they were people too, especially given how much you were focusing primarily on their low self-esteem and their broken homes in this last part. Until finally, he says in the end, his final quote, which is like an a-hole filmmaker attempting to give meaning to his drivel. See, I have a strong opinion on this because of the way that it presents fans and pretend... It's not even the way it presents fans. I can see a documentary that's bad about Star Wars fandom and points out the crappiness, and I would just be like, yeah, that does exist. That sucks. I wish you would have presented it in a more positive light. We will actually see that when we look at Star Weight next time around. But that's not what this guy tries to do, right? He doesn't say, I'm going to give you the downside. He doesn't say, I'm going to give you the upside. He says, I'm going to give you a search for the truth, which should be an intellectually honest search for the truth, which is not even remotely what he has done here. He spends his search for truth berating people, and then is shocked that he can't empathize enough with them by the end, and gives us a perfectly millennial, I guess, maybe? Gen X, I guess? I'm not really sure. But a perfect encapsulation of this, of trying to be pretentious and give meaning to basically this excuse he's had for the last 60 minutes to bash Star Wars fans and make sure that people know that he may be making a documentary about them, but he sure as hell isn't one of them. He says, and I quote, "It seems that some of the things that are missing in these fans' lives are missing throughout my entire generation. At least these fans believe in something, have passion for something, even had a sense of optimism. They believe that good can defeat evil, that family can reconcile, and that religion can work. That's more than I can say for most people my age." The end. Wow. Just wow. So, would I recommend checking out A Galaxy Far, Far Away? If you like Star Wars fan documentaries or documentaries about Star Wars fans, I'm not sure this guy would count as a fan, but if you like documentaries about Star Wars fans and you want to see a darker version of that, then yes, you should check this out. On the other hand, if you want something that is more fair, more of a balanced approach, or perhaps is just a documentary that shows real life happening without a narrator putting in his 2 cents and trying to spin it in a negative way as much as possible, don't check this one out. Star Woids is probably a better one. Hell, Star Weight is probably a better one, and I'm going to have a significant issue with part of the Star Weight stuff as well in our next episode. But if you're looking for fan documentaries or documentaries about fans to stick into your Star Wars home video collection, there are 2 versions out there right now of A Galaxy Far, Far Away. The one from 2000 or the one from 2009. Take them or leave them. I've got them. I watched them. I probably won't ever watch them again. But they're part of my Star Wars home video library now. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers. Even if you don't have broken homes so that you can provide meaning to some filmmaker who wants to look down